Good morning. Good morning. Members, please take your seats. Members, please take your seats. We have some important business today, some important recognitions. Members, please take your seats. The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please take their seats. The clerk will ring the bell. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Thank you. My colleagues, before we move on to the next part of our day, I want to speak to you about an incident that occurred over this weekend. As we begin this morning, I must take a moment to address a repulsive incident that occurred over the weekend. Saturday night, under cover of darkness, committees in North Fulton County were visited by an old enemy: hatred. Sunday morning, families in those communities found anti-Semitic flyers in their driveways. Of the driveways littered with this garbage, 2 belonged to a member of this House and a member of our Capitol Press Corps, respectively. I know all of you join with me in taking such actions very seriously. Local police are investigating this incident, and Governor Kemp has offered the assistance of state law enforcement. We pause this morning to reiterate that hate has no place in Georgia. No place in Georgia. None. We are blessed to live in a country which, through its very motto, recognizes our collective strength. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Thank you. We will begin our day, as is our custom, with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 132nd House District, Mr. Chairman Brian Prince. Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor to introduce my friend, David L. Luke, pastor of the Stone Springfield AME Church. The doorkeepers have placed his bio on your desk, but please help me welcome his soulmate and his first lady, Miss Karen Luke. Would you please stand? Representative McLean, it has been said that those who require a long introduction probably don't deserve it. And those that deserve a long introduction probably don't need it. I present to all my friend, Pastor David L. Luke. Hear ye him.
Good morning. To God be the glory for the great things he's already done. Let me first thank God for this house, this wonderful speaker. Can we give him a hand clap of praise this morning? And to my good friend and Representative Brian Prince, the Prince of Georgia. Amen. Can you give him a hand clap of praise? Beloved, there is a word from the Lord. First, let me honor you by saying thank you for your work. Thank you for working until the work is done. The word today is found for us in Psalm 84, beginning with verse number 11. Listen to these words. For the Lord God is a sun and a shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them which that walk uprightly. Thus ends the reading of God's anointed word. The power of God gives us promise. He made a promise. One of the most embezzled memories in my mind was the day my father made me a promise. Made me a promise that he was going to take us out to play. Growing up in the rural area of Alabama, there wasn't a whole lot of parks. But the days of riding on the back of a truck when it was still safe, to ride with my daddy over the hills and over the byways to that place. Well, as fate would have it, the rain came in. The skies grew dark. And I can see the promise slipping away. My dad was a contractor, and he worked till night. I thought, well, the rain was surely going to make us miss our play date. But oh, how my heart filled with joy to hear that Ford pickup truck clearing the hill, rattling with tools, and my daddy inside. Because my daddy taught me that it wasn't a good thing to break a promise. And I didn't know how theologically sound it was until I became older. Has anyone ever broke a promise with you? Have you ever broken your promise? The feeling of betrayal that happens, the distrust that follows after that. The word promise is synonymous with the word found throughout the Bible from the beginning of the writ, covenant. The Lord draws us into a covenant relationship. Across the pages of Holy Writ, God enters into covenant relationships with his people in Genesis. He entered into a covenant with Abraham. He promised Abraham, if he's willing to go where he's leading him, that he would be blessed more than any person that ever lived. Isn't it amazing how God will send us into the darkness and then become our marvelous light? But more than a covenant with us, God desires an intimate relationship. That means not a casual hello in the morning, not a strong prayer at lunch when you're getting ready to dig into lasagna, but rather an intimate relationship that says, you are mine and I am yours. God desires a public relationship with us, a public relationship that says that I walk in integrity because of who I'm in relationship with. I won't cower into the night throwing things on your driveway if I have a covenant relationship with the Lord. Acknowledge that the sacrifice within the Trinity tells us that if we are in proper covenant with our neighbor, then the world would be a better place. God is literally saying, I'm offended when we don't take time to spend with him in the early mornings. As a pastor for the last 18 years, I have arisen to pray with my church at 6:30 a.m., rain, sleet, or snow, even when the wife keeps me up late at night, because of my covenant relationship with him. God is affronted when the only evening prayer he receives is that when you are toddling between sleep and frustration, crying out about the day that he's given you. But if we are careful to be in this covenant relationship with the Lord and remind those around us, he made a promise. On the dark days, he made a promise. On the days when your constituency are on your heels, he made a promise. And he made that promise, and he wanted me to tell you, he'll shield the sun by day, and he'll become the sun and stars at night. My name is Reverend David Luke, and I approve this message. Will you please stand to pray for the Pledge of Allegiance? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let us pray. Father God, we are grateful for this moment that you've extended to us in this assembly. Bless us individually as well as collectively. Keep us, O God, in the hollows of your hand, for you are our promise keeper. In Jesus' name, amen. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic from which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to take a picture right there. Okay. Let's stop right there. Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Members may greet Reverend Luke, the chaplain, in the south anteroom for photos in just a moment. Members, if I can have your attention, if you can pause just for a minute, we have one more piece of business that we need to tend to before we move on. This house became more complete today with 2 new members that are sworn in. My colleagues, if you'll welcome our 2 new colleagues, Representative Chaz Cannon. Where's Johnny? Welcome, Chaz. And Representative Johnny Chastain. Welcome, Johnny. We look forward to working with both of you. Thank you for your efforts to be here and join this great group that you're a part of now. Nope. Chair now recognizes Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Tarvin.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits have read the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And on another note, when I was younger, riding around my little town, I'd see something needed to be fixed, and I'd say, why doesn't somebody do something about that? And one day I realized I am somebody.
You certainly are somebody. And I'm sure it's not a little town anymore, and you're not a little guy anymore, but you're doing good. Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day. Mr.
President,
Clerk.
administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business and in the first part of the period unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading and reference of House bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions, morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adopting of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. Mr. Clerk, first reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 4 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Carter of the 93rd, Taylor of the 92nd, Hutchinson of the 104th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 3, Title 37 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to general provisions related to examination and treatment of mental illness.
Health.
House Bill 5 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled Act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to education.
Higher education.
House Bill 6 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to public assistance.
Public health.
House Bill 7 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Carter of the 93rd, Taylor of the 92nd, Jones of the 60th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 2, Chapter 1 of Title 37 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to powers and duties of the Department of Behavioral Health.
Health.
House Bill 8 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Jones of the 60th, Carter of the 93rd, Taylor of the 92nd, Davis of the 87th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Subpart 2 of Part 1 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to compulsory attendance.
Education.
House Bill 9 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Carter of the 93rd, Jones of the 60th, Schofield of the 63rd, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 1 of Title 37 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to general provisions relative to governing and regulation of mental health.
Health.
House Bill 204 by Representative Yurt of the 152nd, Gullett of the 19th, Leverett of the 123rd, Dempsey of the 13th, and Martinez of the 111th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 32 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to municipal courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 205 by Representative Cameron of the 1st, Harvard of the 2nd, Petrie of the 166th, Camp of the 135th, and Clark of the 100th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Code Section 12.3, 9.1 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to discount for certified disabled veterans.
Game, fish, and parks.
House Bill 206 by Representative Saints of the 180th, LaHood of the 175th, Stevens of the 164th, Taylor of the 173rd, Williams of the 148th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to local government.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 207 by Representative Rhodes of the 124th, Corbett of the 174th, Ridley of the 6th, Williams of the 148th, LaHood of the 175th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 7 of Title 52 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to general provisions relative to registration, operation, and sales of watercraft.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
House Bill 208 by Representative Holcomb, the 81st bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 5541 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to requirements as to extraordinary motions for new trial.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 209 by Representative Clark of the 108th, Beverly of the 143rd, Gilliard of the 162nd, Medina of the 110th, and Williams of the 168th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to holidays and observances.
Special rules.
House Bill 210 by Representative Smith, the 138th, and Smith, the 139th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the governing authority of Harris County to levy an excise tax pursuant to subsection B.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 211 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, Dempsey, the 13th, Gaines, the 120th, Bentley, the 150th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 48.8.3 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 212 by Representative Jenkins, the 136th, Camp of the 135th, and Mathiak, the 74th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 of Title 43 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to barbers and cosmetologists.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 213 by Representative Dempsey, the 13th, Hawkins, the 27th, Cooper, the 45th, Hutchinson, the 106th, and Taylor, the 173rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to student health in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 214 by Representative Powell, the 33rd, Anderson, the 10th, Mitchell, the 88th, Jaspers, the 11th, Reeves, the 99th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 2 of Title 40 and Chapter 34 of Title 43 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to prestige license plates.
Health.
House Bill 215 by Representative Powell, the 33rd, Anderson, the 10th, Mitchell, the 88th, Jaspers, the 11th, Reeves, the 99th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 26 of Title 43 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to nurses. Yes, sir.
Health.
House Bill 216 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Neal the 79th, Holcomb of the 81st, Taylor of the 173rd, Clark of the 108th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 15 to Title 17 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to victim compensation.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 217 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Silcox of the 53rd, Reeves of the 99th, Chokus of the 151st, Washburn of the 144th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 2 of Chapter 12 of Title 16 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to gambling.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 218 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Cooper of the 45th, Leverett of the 123rd, Silcox of the 53rd, Reeves of the 99th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 8 of Title 24 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to missions and confessions.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 219 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Cooper of the 45th, Leverett of the 123rd, Ballard of the 147th, Petrie of the 166th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 11 of Chapter 1 of Title 7 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to records and reports of currency transactions.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 220 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd and Smith of the 18th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Title 44 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to property.
Judiciary.
House Bill 221 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Hawkins of the 27th, Jaspers of the 11th, Taylor of the 173rd. Bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 33, 9, 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to maintenance and filing rates.
Insurance.
House Bill 222 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Williams of the 148th, Taylor of the 173rd, and Hawkins of the 27th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Title 33 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 223 by Representative Stevens, the 164th bill be titled an Act to amend Article 3, Chapter 13, Title 48, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to excise tax on rooms and lodgings.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 224 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an Act to amend Part 1 of Article 4, Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to dangerous instrumentalities and practices.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 225 by Representative Carpenter, the 4th Daniel, the 117th, Saints of the 180th, and Olowitz of the 42nd, Martinez of the 111th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 13 of Chapter 2 and Title 26 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to food service establishments.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 226 by Representative Cooper, the 45th, Taylor, the 173rd, Dempsey, the 13th, Newton, the 127th, and Olowitz, the 42nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical assistance generally.
Public Health.
House Bill 227 by Representative Leverett, the 123rd, Williamson, the 112th, Smith, the 18th, Anderson, the 10th, Burchetta, the 176th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to crimes and offenses.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 228 by Representative Dempsey, the 13th, Cooper, the 45th, Taylor, the 173rd, Princeton, the 132nd, Hawkins, the 27th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 23-411 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions regarding tuition, equalization grants in private colleges and universities.
Higher Education.
House Bill 229 by Representative Gaines, the 120th, Gullett of the 19th, Wiedauer, the 121st, Hilton, the 48th, Petrie, the 166th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 18 and Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to prosecuting attorneys.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 230 by Representative Newton, the 127th, Prince, the 132nd, Frazier, the 126th, Gladney, the 130th, Howard, the 129th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 231 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Gaines, the 120th, Jones, the 47th, Gunner of the 8th, Petrie, the 166th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 18 and Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding prosecuting attorneys.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 232 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th, and Hutchinson of the 106th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 4, Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to conditions of detention.
Public Safety and Homeland Security. Mr. Clerk, will you suspend just for a moment? We have to finish this work, and I can't hear. I don't know about y'all. So let's hold it down just a little bit. Mr. Clerk, if you'll continue.
House Bill 233 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Carter of the 93rd, Jones of the 60th, Davis of the 87th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 10 and Title 17 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to procedure for sentencing and imposition of punishment.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 234 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Hutchinson of the 106th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 1 and Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to inmate policies.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 235 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Hutchinson of the 106th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 1 and Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to inmate policies.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 236 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1A of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to early care and learning.
Education.
House Bill 237 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Seaball of the 34th, and Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 3, Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to state symbols.
Special Rules.
House Bill 238 by Representative Bruce of the 61st, Bazemore of the 69th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Miller of the 62nd, Nagisi of the 68th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 5, Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to program weights and funding requirements on the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 239 by Representative Williamson of the 112th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7, Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to imposition rate, computation exemptions, and credits relative to state income tax.
Ways and Means.
House Resolution 110 by Representative Alexander, the 66th, Bernal, the 77th, and Oliver, the 82nd. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Election Integrity.
Governmental Affairs.
House Resolution 118 by Representative Yurda, the 152nd, Hagan, the 156th, Rose, the 124th, Anderson, the 10th, Collins, the 71st. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the State of Georgia so as to authorize county tax commissioners.
Ways and Means.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 182 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Williams of the 148th, Leverett of the 123rd, Silcox of the 53rd, Evans of the 57th. A bill relating to records of deeds and other property transactions. House Bill 183 by Representative Barton of the 5th, Corbett of the 174th, Wiedauer of the 121st, Momtahan of the 17th, Ridley of the 6th. A bill relating to vehicles with false or secret compartments and registration and licensing of motor vehicles. House Bill 184 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Oliver of the 82nd, Al of the 50th, Jones of the 25th, a bill relating to insurance. House Bill 185 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, Dempsey of the 13th, Hilton of the 48th, Wiedauer of the 121st, Hatchett of the 155th, and others. A bill relating to Hope Scholarships and Grants. House Bill 186 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Smith of the 18th, Evans of the 57th, and Holcomb of the 81st. A bill relating to appeal and error. House Bill 187 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Gunter of the 8th, Williams of the 168th, Smith of the 18th, and Prince of the 132nd. A bill relating to fraud and related practices. House Bill 188 by Representative Saines of the 180th, Petrie of the 166th, Hitchens of the 161st, Burchett of the 176th, Maynard of the 56th, and others. A bill relating to appellate practice. House Bill 189 by Representative Meeks of the 178th, Burchett of the 176th, Corbett of the 174th, Fry of the 122nd, Dickey of the 145th, and others. A bill relating to dimensions and weight of vehicles and loads. House Bill 190 by Representative Momtahan of the 17th, Leverett of the 123rd, Saines of the 180th, Hitchens of the 161st, Reeves of the 99th, and others. A bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 191 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, Newton of the 127th, Owl of the 50th, Green of the 154th, Hawkins of the 27th, and others. A bill relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products. House Bill 192 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, Newton of the 127th, Owl of the 50th, Green of the 154th, Hawkins of the 27th, and others. A bill relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products. House Bill 193 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Lumsden of the 12th, Hawkins of the 27th, Yerta of the 152nd, Leverett of the 123rd, and others. A bill relating to public works, contracting, and bidding requirements. House Bill 194 by Representative Hutchinson of the 106th, Kennard of the 101st, Fry of the 122nd, Martin of the 96th, Owl of the 50th, and others. A bill relating to offenses involving illegal aliens. House Bill 195 by Representative Marin of the 96th, Owl of the 50th, Schofield of the 63rd, Tran of the 80th, Park of the 107th, and others. A bill relating to weapons carry license, gun safety information, temporary renewal permit, mandamus, and verification of license. House Bill 196 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Washburn of the 144th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Daniel of the 117th, McCollum of the 30th, and others. A bill relating to access to medical cannabis. House Bill 197 by Representative McCollum of the 30th, Powell of the 33rd, Wiedauer of the 121st, Irwin of the 32nd, Gaines of the 120th, and others. A bill relating to crimes and offenses. House Bill 198 by Representative Gellert of the 19th, Barton of the 5th, Williams of the 148th, Deloach of the 167th, Yerta of the 152nd. A bill relating to insurance requirements for operation of motor vehicles. House Bill 199 by Representative LaHood of the 175th. A bill to abolish the office of elected county surveyor of Brooks County. House Bill 200 by Representative Gallett of the 19th, Evans of the 57th, Perkle of the 169th, Anderson of the 10th, Oliver of the 82nd. A bill relating to primaries and elections. House Bill 201 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Carter of the 93rd, Scott of the 76th, Bennett of the 94th, Hutchinson of the 106th. A bill relating to general provisions regarding health. House Bill 202 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Carter of the 93rd, Holland of the 54th, Gilliard of the 162nd. A bill relating to compulsory attendance for students in elementary and secondary education. House Bill 203 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Beverly of the 143rd, Hawkins of the 27th, Stevens of the 164th, Cooper of the 45th. A bill relating to control of hazardous conditions, preventable disease, and metabolic disorders. House Resolution 96 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Petrie of the 166th, Dickey of the 145th, Corbett of the 174th, Rhodes of the 124th, and others. Resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to provide for a reduction in the rate of ad valorem tax assessment at timber at sale or harvest. House Resolution 97 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, a resolution honoring the life of Sergeant Eddie Thomas Terry and dedicating a bridge in his memory. House Resolution 98 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Stevens of the 164th, Jaspers of the 11th, Williamson of the 112th, and Jones of the 25th. Resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize exemptions from local ad valorem taxation in addition to homestead exemptions. Senate Bill 11 by Senator Alberts of the 56th, Robertson of the 29th, Duggan of the 30th, Payne of the 54th, Beach of the 21st, and others. A bill relating to general provisions concerning the Georgia Bureau of Investigation through second readers.
House will come to order. House will come to order. We're going to introduce our doctor of the day right now, and for that privilege, Representative Sharon Cooper of the 45th will introduce our doctor of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. I'm now introducing the doctor of the day, but he's also a personal friend and lives in my district, and he's already been down here a day earlier to help us out. It's Dr. Brett Cannon. He's an emergency room physician in Cobb County, but he runs emergency rooms in several other areas. The one thing that I can say about him that's different, he went to North Carolina for undergraduate, then to Emory, and he finally got around to getting a degree from the University of Georgia with an MBA. So it took him a little while, but he is a Georgia graduate now. Dr. Cannon.
Thank you. My daughter's a freshman at UGA. So it's Georgia College of Emergency Physician Week this week, and so we've got emergency physicians from across the state staffing the medical aid station. As always, we hope you stay healthy and don't need us, but we're there if you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Was that good enough?
That was perfect, Chairman Cooper, and we appreciate you being here and taking care of us. Thank you so much. Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative Beth Campbell, 135th District Chairman and Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local is that under consideration the following bills of the House. Instructed me to report same back to the House the following recommendations. House Bill 94 do pass, House Bill 117 do pass, House Bill 125 do pass, House Bill 159 do pass, House Bill 164 do pass, House Bill 169 do pass, House Bill 118 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District Chairman. Representative Tyler Paul Smith of the 18th District Chairman on Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil is that under consideration the following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 139 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Tyler Paul Smith of the 18th District Chairman. That completes the reading of reports of standing committees.
Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. We have one bill on the local calendar relates to homestead exemption and requires a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there are no objections, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 94 by Representative Campbell, 171st, Mitchell County. House Bill 117 by Representative Scoggins, the 14th, Bartow County. House Bill 125 by Representative Smith, the 138th, Harris County. House Bill 159 by Representative Meeks, the 178th, City of Jessup. House Bill 164 by Representative Smith of the 18th, City of Mount Zion. House Bill 169 by Representative Collins, the 71st, Carroll County. House Bill 118 by substitute by Representative Scoggins, the 14th, Bartow County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the ayes are 168, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. We have a special recognition this morning, but we're going to move on right now to morning orders. First morning order is we'll recognize Representative Frazier, and she's going to talk to us about Augusta. Representative Frazier and the Augusta delegation. So if you're a member of the Augusta delegation, join Representative Frazier down front. Greater Augusta, oh, that's right, excuse me. Greater Augusta. Augusta is great though, isn't it? Yeah. There you go. There she comes. It's a good looking cap you have on there, Representative Frazier. Representative Frazier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To my colleagues, I need total silence because this is Greater Augusta Day at the state capitol. I am so proud to say that we have many of our community leaders, our businesses, our chambers from Burke County, Richmond County, Richmond County, Burke County, and Columbia County here today. They are out actually in meetings, so they are not in the gallery, but I wanted to recognize them. We wanted to come down and let you know that the hats that you have on your desk are gifts for the Masters that you will be attending on April the 6th in Augusta, where you will come, all of you all, wear your hat and contribute to the economy in Augusta, Richmond County for a whole week. We would truly appreciate it. Now, Augusta is known not just for the Masters. It is also known as a region for our cybersecurity and information technology center. It's our medical and educational hub, and it's the center of manufacturing and energy technology. So, but what you are most interested in is the Masters. And so, like I do every year, there's one lucky person here that have 2 Master tickets somewhere in this chamber, normally under your seat. And so when you see those tickets, please come and see me. I will give you the real ones. And I want to do a special shout out, Mr. Speaker, to our majority leader, Chuck Castration. He did the calendar this year, so there's no excuse for nobody not to be able to come to the Masters on April the 6th. Thank you. All right, thank you all very much. Enjoy your hats.
Thank you, Representative. No need for y'all to look. We already found the tickets. Don't even look. We'll check all the seats in a little bit when y'all all leave. What a great event, and that does all those folks from around the greater Augusta area does make it a great occasion, and let's make sure we all join with them today. Chairman Chokas is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I get to recognize two organizations. The first one is Chattahoochee County High School. All right, my students from Chatco, stand ups. Superintendent Brooks. There we go. Thank you. Let me brag on these students for a minute or two. The superintendent, Christy Brooks, has been at the helm of the Chattahoochee County High School system for just a few years, and in the last 3, they've grown by 300 students, so now they're over 1,000. They have a strong partnership with Fort Benning and encourage the active duty military personnel to send their children there. They've, this past Friday, received a grant from the Department of Defense to help with their AP courses of $52,000, and their JROTC program has won national recognition. So as I said, thank you for welcoming my Chatco students here, and Superintendent Brooks, go Panthers, go Panthers. And Mr. Speaker, if you bear with me, I have another 2 gentlemen that I'd like to recognize at this time. Ronnie Colberth, who used to be a member of the House of Representatives back in the 90s, represented District 132, I think, if I'm not right. Ronnie, you stand up. And Max Darby, who is the president of 13th Colony Distillery in Americus, Georgia. 13th Colony Distillery is 14 years old and has won national and international awards for their products. They make bourbon, rye, vodka, and gin, and you can find them at many local liquor distributors in Georgia, and I proudly sell their products at home. So please join me in recognizing Max Darby and Ronnie Colberth. Stand up, guys. No, there are no free samples. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And 13th Colony utilizes Georgia-grown products in their products, so pretty awesome stuff. Thank you all for being here. And welcome back, Representative. Chair now recognizes Representative Mac Jackson for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to recognize John Hancock Academy, who's with us here in the gallery. Would you stand if you're here? John Hancock. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome them to the state capitol. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Representative John Hancock's down in Sparta. Is that right? Yeah, welcome. Good to have y'all. Representative Al Williams is recognized for a morning order. Are you ready? You stay ready, don't you? Representative. Oh.
Representative Deloach is going to join me.
Chairman
Thank you,
Deloach.
Mr. Speaker. This is my first trip to the well since you've been Speaker. I think I'll stay a while. Tell him, Betsy. Representative Deloach and I are proud to stand. Our group had to leave for some meetings, but Leadership Liberty is here, arguably the finest leadership group in Georgia. But when you see them, they'll be wearing Al Williams lapel pins, so just welcome them to the Capitol, please, and thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A great group from Liberty County, no doubt. We'll look for them, Representative, and we'll look for those lapel pins. Chairman Hatchett recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, we've got a group of leaders here, young leaders from Citizens Bank of Lawrence County. It's their Citizens Bank of Lawrence County Youth Advisory Council. So help me welcome them. Y'all stand in the gallery.
A good-looking group there, Chairman Hatchett. Welcome. We do have a special resolution, but we're going to move on to afternoon orders as we wait for our guest to arrive, who's over in the Senate. A very, very special resolution that we will be taking up with Representative Jackson here in a few minutes. Chair recognizes Amani Barnes, Representative Amani Barnes, for a evening order in the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning to our visitors. Again, my name is Imani Barnes. I represent House District 86 in Tucker, Clarkson, and Stone Mountain. I am excited to be here today to observe one of our Black pioneers. By day, I am a biomedical research scientist. So when asked to speak on an influential Black person in our Black history, I wanted to highlight a non-traditional person that we usually don't hear about in the month of February. So I wanted to speak on the scientists here in Georgia while also highlighting one of our illustrious historical Black colleges and universities here in our state. I came across the renowned Dr. John K. Haynes. Dr. Haynes is a biologist and academic professor, best known for his groundbreaking research and detection methods for sickle cell anemia. He attended Morehouse College when he was just 17 years old and received his bachelor's in biology and eventually earning his PhD from Brown University. Dr. Haynes received his postdoctoral appointment with MIT and worked with Vernon Ingram, a pioneering scientist with a focus on sickle cell disease. This method, Dr. Haynes developed a process to examine these cells under the microscope to tell us whether or not a patient has sickle cells. And to this day, we still use his method to detect sickle cell. He taught and continued to do research, and I'm going to give you an idea of how sickle cell affects just our state in Georgia. So sickle cell disease, per the CDC, affects over 7,000 individuals in our state. Almost every county in Georgia has someone who suffers from this disease. About 1 out of every 295 Black babies that are born have this disease. As part of his work, Dr. Haynes created a program for high school students to introduce them to science. An interesting fact about Dr. Haynes is that I invited him to be with us today. He is a living legend. He told me he could not make it because he still teaches at Morehouse after 24 years. He's still a professor, and he's teaching a class right now, the only reason he couldn't join us today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you take a part in Sickle Cell Day here on Wednesday. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
I'm sure all the members of this House knows, Representative Barnes, as you do, this House has always been very supportive of sickle cell research at Augusta University, and that will continue. Thank you for your morning order. Representative Roger Bruce is recognized for an afternoon order in the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got a couple other folks that are going to join me down here. I thought they were Representative Bazemore and Representative Frazier.
Representative Bazemore.
Some of you may have seen on the news over the past couple of days, we kind of made the clerk famous. Did y'all see him on there accepting the bill from a group of students who are concerned about their safety? You know, we often hear about the students doing things that they have no business doing, but in this case, we had students that actually helped to write a bill. They met with legislative council, and they helped to write a bill to help with their safety. And what the bill does is House Bill 238. And what it does, it creates a fund where schools around the state are able to apply to this fund and get monitors on the school bus paid for. And that's what the kids want. They want adult supervision on the bus other than the school bus driver, because they feel like that is a dangerous situation, and the school bus driver cannot drive the bus safely and deal with the other issues that are on the bus at the same time. This, if anybody is looking for a nonpartisan bill, everybody in here has children or grandchildren or a niece or a nephew, and they want to be safe on that bus. And when the kids come to the Capitol, they came here, they met with legislative council, they met with the clerk, and they are asking for this bill. So please go to the clerk's office, sign on to the bill. It's House Bill 238, and protect your children and recognize the fact that they are concerned about their safety. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Hughley is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm to be joined by Representative Willis, Inga Willis. But today is Links Day at the Capitol, and if you have link chapters in your city, we're asking that you go over to the Floyd Building where they are, and they'll be back over here at the Capitol at 2 o'clock. So if you live in Columbus, Macon, Brunswick, Augusta, Atlanta, DeKalb, Fulton County, or Chatham County, you have visitors here today. They're wearing these lovely green and white scarves so that you can recognize them. So it's also Black History Month, and Links is part of Black History. It's one of the premier African American women organizations, and it's all about friendship and service. And each year we volunteer more than 1 million hours of volunteer service in our community. So greet them as they come today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. We certainly will. Now, members, I want your attention, a special attention now, as we hear our last afternoon order. And I will remind you that we do have a very special privilege resolution that will occur right afterwards. Our guest is here, so I want you to stay in the house and be seated for our special invite in just a few moments. Representative Esther Panich is recognized, and Friends is recognized for an afternoon order.
You have a crowd.
You do have a lot of friends. Everyone in this house is your friend, so some of you can stay at your seats, but
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, you heard this morning, this weekend, it was my turn to be targeted. Unfortunately, it's not the first time to be afraid as a Jew in the United States. A little background. I'm named, Jews named for the dead. I'm named for my great aunt, Esther Fried of blessed memory, who was killed by the Nazis because she was Jewish and disabled. So when I hear chants of Jews will not replace us to a national audience, I get worried. And then locally, when swastikas are placed on my daughter's freshman dorm room at UGA because she pledged a Jewish sorority, I get worried. And then when I see sweatshirts with Camp Auschwitz on it, worn at the Capitol on January 6th, I am worried. And then to be called a Nazi by a political science professor and a former head of a local GOP group, I get concerned. And then to hear Kanye is right being flashed at the UGA UF game where 2 of my children were in attendance, I get worried. And then flyers on driveways and in mailboxes of hundreds of Jewish families in DeKalb, Fulton, Cobb, Paulding, and Muskogee counties, I get angry. Because it doesn't end with that. It continues for injured and murdered Jews in their synagogue, in Poway, Jersey City, Muncie, and in Pittsburgh, in the deadliest attack on Jews in the United States history. According to the FBI in 2019, American Jews, who make up less than 2% of the American population, were the victims of over 60.2% of anti-religious hate crimes. A January 12, 2023 report shows that anti-Semitic attitudes in the United States are widespread and increasing. 85% of Americans believe at least one anti-Jewish trope, as opposed to 61% in 2019. Furthermore, 20% of Americans believe 6 or more anti-Jewish tropes, substantially more than the 11% in 2019. This report also shows anti-Israel sentiment, rooted in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, is held by a broad swath of the population. The flyers we received demonize Jews, Judaism, and Jewish culture. They're filled with the classic anti-Semitic tropes about Jewish power and control. They came from a group that is famous for their outright anti-Semitic lies, including Holocaust denial, their twisted conspiracy theories, including claiming that Israel was responsible for 9/11 and that Jews and Zionists run our government. Their stated goal is to destroy us, kill Jews, wipe us off the face of the earth. We can do something, especially here, and we must. Please listen to the communities for the solutions they need. Do not dismiss them. Do not tell them it won't matter or it's not necessary. Hear them. We need your help. We've had enough. We hope you have as well. We know you stand with the Jewish community. We know you stand with the Jewish people against hate in Georgia. I am heartened by all the love and support I have felt this morning. We all know it might be the Jews today, but the same people will come after you tomorrow. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Representative, and thank you, members. We'll stand at ease just for a minute or two. This is a very special resolution that Representative Mac Jackson will bring to us, and a special guest that I think you will be most appreciative of the service of this gentleman that certainly goes right along with the comments that just were made from this well. So this House will be at ease just for a moment or two. House will come back to order. We recognize the former Representative Ronnie Colbreth that was in the gallery, so let's recognize our former member who served here at this House. Great to have you, Representative. Thanks for coming back. Come back again. Members will please take your seats. Please take your seats. We have a special guest on the floor. A special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Representative Mac Jackson, who's going to introduce our special guest. Representative Jackson, first we're going to let the clerk read the resolution, and then we'll have comments from Representative Jackson. Pay attention to this resolution, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'll find it very, very interesting.
House Resolution 82 by Representative Jackson of the 128th, recognizing and commending Louis Graziano on his incredible bravery and his dedication to this country for his efforts in World War II and for other purposes. Whereas Louis Graziano was born in 1923, making him the last surviving World War II veteran to witness Germany's surrender. And whereas he was part of the Omaha Beach invasion on D-Day, he was in the third wave, he was a master sergeant in World War II, and he helped build the Dwight D. Eisenhower headquarters in Europe. And whereas after D-Day, he was in the Battle of the Bulge, where he almost lost his feet to frostbite, and he took part in the June 6th invasion of Normandy in 1944. And whereas he became the utilities foreman for the 102nd Infantry Field Artillery Battalion Special Headquarters Command in Reims, France, part of the job called for him to be responsible for all Americans occupied buildings in Reims, including the Little Red Schoolhouse, where Germany signed the surrender document. And whereas after witnessing the signing, Mr. Graziano took the Germans to another room to meet General Dwight D. Eisenhower. And whereas Mr. Graziano was given the French Legion of Honor in Thompson, Georgia, an honor given to veterans as recognition for the role they played in liberating France from the German occupation. And Vincent Hammerl, the Consul General of France, called him a hero and inspiration. And whereas he was born in East Aurora, New York, and worked with his father digging and putting sewer lines down, after a year he decided to go to beauty school to become a hairstylist since his sister owned a hair salon. And whereas he graduated from the Buffalo School of Beauty and Culture, and he was working at his sister's salon when he got drafted into the Army, he still works at his barbershop today, cutting and styling hairs for 80 years. And whereas Mr. Graziano met his future wife, Eula Bobby Schoenfeld, while he was in Reims, where she served as a staff sergeant in the Women's Army Corps, and the couple moved back to the United States and raised 5 children, Louis, Moria, Marcia, David, and Kim. And whereas for most of Mr. Graziano's life, Thompson has been his home, he truly loves his community, and they love him. And whereas Mr. Graziano wrote a book about his experience during the war, A Patriot's Memoirs of World War II, through my eyes, heart, and soul. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives that members of this body commend Louis Graziano for his heroic actions in World War II and honor the pride and prestige that it has brought to this great state to call him a resident.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to recognize Mr. Louis Graziano. He lives in Thompson, Georgia, in District 128. But the thing I want you to know today, he is 100 years old today. Today is his birthday. We need Representative Sharpner to sing like that. I can't do it like he can. But ladies and gentlemen, also I want you to know he still drives his pickup truck. So he's still doing what he loves to do best here at 100 years old. I think that's the greatest accomplishment, that God would give him the grace to be here for 100 years old. He's witnessed so many things in his life, and the greatest thing about it, he lives in the district of District 128. So again, help me to welcome Mr. Louis Graziano. Are you gonna say, you gonna speak? Which one of your sisters?
Come on, Mr. Kaufman. Tell them what you need to tell them.
I appreciate you all having me here. It's been a great thing to be here.
Tell them about Omaha Beach.
About the what?
Omaha Beach. Omaha.
What are they?
Omaha Beach when you
Yeah, well, I was in the Omaha Beach, yes. I was the third wave in there on the Omaha Beach invasion. And I had to climb the cliffs there. Then after we got up the cliff, we marched all our way to St. Louis, and that took quite a few days. Then from St. Louis, marched into Reims, France. And when I got to Reims, General Thrasher told me I had to go get some supplies for the troops. So I took two of my men with me and went to the supply place and to get the stuff from the Frenchmen, and they wouldn't sell it to me. So I went back and got two more men, went back there with 4 men, and I told him I wanted that stuff, and he said no. I pointed a gun at him, and I told my men to load up the truck. So they loaded it up, and I gave him the paper to take to the Army to get his money for the stuff that we took. Went back and told the major what I'd done. He says, "Oh, we're going to get in trouble with that." I said, "No, we're not," because he's afraid I'm going to come back and get him. And we didn't have no trouble.
Tell them about building the
One more. One more.
What?
Whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to tell us.
Whatever. I don't know what.
about the method.
Then, so many things to tell, I'm trying to think which one is best.
So we'll have to we'll have to buy the book and read the book.
Yeah, it'd be in the book, right. You're right. But I know I went, with my buddy and we went to the ball game and watched the ladies play ball. And one that was pitching the ball was a softball game, it was the ladies. And I asked my buddy, and his girlfriend was with him, and she says, she's my best friend. So I went around later and made a date with her. And then I went to pick her up that night, and they said, she's already left with somebody. So the other ladies told her she'd never get another date with me. But later on, I went back and made another date. That time she was there, and was there ever since for 63 years. I don't know, just so much going on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I was in the, I know one night the captain come in, he says, "You gotta go with me. We gotta go find General Patton's, half of his company got lost." I says, so it was snowing real bad. Him and I got in the Jeep and we went. We found them. We had to take them all the way to Bastogne. And on the way to Bastogne, though, I got frozen feet during that battle. But after I got to Bastogne, I had to go back to Reims. And they put me in the hospital there for a couple of weeks for my feet because the fluid was coming all out of them. But and right up to now, they're black all the way, half up almost to my knee. But I'm getting along all right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. American heroes. A true American hero. If that story doesn't get to you, nothing will. Nothing will. Representative Panich, I know that his service in World War II is inspirational to you as well. I was thinking of that when you brought your evening order. Representative Sharper is recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. I think he deserves the new updated happy birthday song as he travels over. So all of y'all that know this one, we can join in together. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Representative Sharper. Yeah, that first effort was a little weak. There was no doubt about that. A little disorganized. We've got to work on that, folks. But that was strong. Thank y'all. We do have some announcements. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Honoring the life and memory of Samuel Vernon Guthrie. Recognizing and congratulating Georgia Center for Oncology Research and Education for 20 years of service to the state of Georgia. Recognizing and commending the individuals for their volunteer work. Recognizing and commending communities and schools. And for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. We will move on to announcements now. Representative Seabaugh is recognized for an announcement.
The COP delegation is meeting today in room 514 of the CLOB, and lunch will be provided. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Long Tran is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The DeKalb delegation will be meeting in Club 510. As soon as we adjourn again, the DeKalb delegation will be meeting in 510. As soon as we adjourn, lunch will be provided.
We're going to hear from Chairman Darlene Taylor and Representative Jasmine Clark. You're next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Insurance Subcommittee on Life and Health will meet today at 2 p.m. in CLOB 406. That's the Life and Health Subcommittee, 2 o'clock, CLOB 406. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Clark, you're recognized for an afternoon order. No, for an announcement. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This announcement is for members of GLBC. Please check your calendars, your emails, your desk, all the different ways that we communicate with you about the caucus retreat happening on Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Again, all members of GLBC, please plan to attend. I will make this announcement a couple of times just so we all know what's going on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Corbett is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Motor Vehicles Committee will be meeting in the morning, room 606 at 8 o'clock. Breakfast will not be provided.
Oh, come on, man. What's up? Representative Gamble recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the House Judiciary Committee room, the fellowship will meet. You're all invited.
Thank you. Chairman Hawkins recognized for an announcement.
Committee on Health will meet today at 2 o'clock in CAP 314.
That completes our announcements. Well, we do have a birthday. Representative Ken Vance. Representative Ken Vance. He's out having a picture with the... He's well on his way to 100, but he's not there yet. So let's wish Representative Ken Vance a happy birthday. We do have pages today, so if you have a page, we'll ask you make your way down front for page photos. Thank you, pages, for your service. Mr. Majority Leader, you're recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Tuesday, February 7th, 2023.
This is Legislative Day 13. Legislative Day 13. And on the motion of the Majority Leader, that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday, February the 7th, 2023. All those in favor will say aye. Oh, yeah. All those opposed, no. It's clear to me the ayes have it.